Now we go to part three with the tree of life. This is the central map of the Kabbalah, and it illustrates how the divine infinite energy, or Ein Sof, steps down in the physical world through 10 distinct channels or dimensions called Sephiroth. The tree of life has three columns. It's organized into three vertical pillars that balance the universe. The right pillar is the pillar of mercy, represents expansion, giving, and masculine energy. The left pillar is the pillar of severity, representing restraint, judgment, and feminine energy. And the middle pillar is the balance pillar, the central column that harmonizes these extremes. The energy flows from the top, the most spiritual, to the bottom, the most physical. The intellectual cluster here that we come up with is that the crown, there's the nothingness above the head. It's pure divine will, or it's the crown chakra in Hinduism. The Shokma, or wisdom. This is the right brain, the initial flash of inspiration. There's understanding, which is the left brain processing that flash into a detailed plan. And then we have knowledge that is often shown as a hidden sephirah between the head and the heart, representing the internalization of wisdom. There's the emotional cluster, which is the heart. So we have kindness, which is the right arm, unbounded love and the urge to give. The left arm, strength and justice, which sets boundaries and saying no. And then the beauty harmony, the torso, the balance that blends love with discipline. There's the action cluster. We have endurance, which is the right leg, the drive to overcome obstacles and win. The left leg, which is humility, the ability to yield or persist. And the yesod, the foundation, the reproductive organ, the funnel that gathers all energy above, prepares to transmit it. So the physical manifestation is the Malkut, the kingdom, the feet or earth. This is our physical reality. It has no light of its own. It receives and reflects all energy from the nine Sephiroth above it. So how they're connected, there's 22 different paths, which correspond to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. The Kabbalists believe God used these 22 letters as building blocks to create the world. The energy moves through these paths like water through pipes. If a person performs a good deed, mitzvah, they clear a path. If they act selfishly, they clog the path, causing spiritual blockage. So the concept of balance is critical here. The tree teaches that neither extreme is good. Too much kindness becomes indulgence or spoiling. Too much severity becomes cruelty and rigidity. So balance is the goal, the middle path of the heart. They're the four worlds of the tree of life. Uh, the four worlds describe the stages to which divine light is filtered and condensed till it becomes a solid matter. Each world corresponds to a different level of consciousness in a specific segment of the tree of life. The absolute or emanation, the highest world, existing in direct contact with the infinite or Ein Sof. There's the vibe, which is the pure unity, no sense of self here, only God. There's a Sephiroth representing the intellectual cluster, the Keter, the Chokmah, and the Binah, and the analogy, the will to build a house before you even have a thought of what it will look like. Finally, the soul level, the living soul. There's the creation, first stage where something exists apart from God, though it's still purely spiritual or energetic. There's the realm of the throne of glory and the highest archangels. There's a transition into the emotional cluster. There's the blueprint or architectural plan of the house, and there's the divine intellect. We go to formation, the world of shape and movement. This is where the spiritual begins to take on recognizable forms, the world of angels and emotional energy. This corresponds to the six emotional or functional Sephiroth. And the analogy here is gathering the materials and workers at the construction site. And so at the soul level, we're dealing with the spirit and emotions. Finally, in the lowest world, which includes our physical universe and its immediate spiritual underlay, we have the realm of matter, time, and space. It's the only world where God feels hidden. It's centered on the Malkut, or the kingdom. It's the completed standing house, and it's the vitality and physical drive that takes it through. So the four worlds at a glance, we have the Absolute, the Beria, the Yetzirah, and the Yesaya. And the translation is emanation, creation, formation, and action. The state of being is unity, thought, emotion, and matter. And the key concepts: divine will, divine intellect, divine speech, divine deed. There's the fractal nature. Kabbalists teach that the four worlds are nested, like the Russian dolls and the pachinko. There's a full tree of life in each of the four worlds. Each of the four worlds has a complete full tree of life. So within our physical world, there's a spark of absolute pure will hiding inside. And the goal of the Kabbalist is to climb up through these worlds during meditation or prayer. The primordial man is the first and highest stage of existence, following Tzimtzum. This is not a physical being, but a purely spiritual blueprint that contains the potential for all creation. This is the first spiritual realm to emerge following Tzimtzum, and it serves as the primary mediator through which the infinite light of the Ein Sof is channeled and filtered into the structured universe. The cosmological role here is the bridge of creation. This acts as a supreme template for all subsequent existence. After the Tzimtzum created a vacuum, a single ray of light called the Kav penetrated it, and this ray enclosed itself in the form of Adam. The five worlds, this is the highest of the five general spiritual worlds. The subsequent four worlds that we've already looked at are defined by separation and division, and Adam remains the realm of pure potential and unified divine will. These lights eventually formed the lower worlds that were first projected from his sensory orifices. And we have the ear, nose, and mouth emanated bound lights, akudim, where the 10 Sephiroth were still unified in a single vessel. The eyes emanated the dotted lights, the nekudim, which led to the shattering of the vessels, the Shevarat Hakalim, and the creation of the world of Tohu, or chaos. So, what is the connection to the tree of life? This is often described as the embodiment of the tree of life itself. The 10 Sephiroth, or spheres, are arranged within him in a man-like configuration, finding a structural balance between the pillar of mercy and the pillar of severity. In the hierarchy of worlds, Adam corresponds to the Sephirah of Keter, the crown, the highest, most transcendent point of the tree, that represents the absolute divine will. But because he contains the entire tree of life within his spiritual body, he serves as the macrocosmic prototype. Every human soul, which also mirrors the tree of life, finds its ultimate root in the soul essence, Yechidaiah, of Adam. The goal of Tikkun, the purpose of human life, is to mend the broken vessels of the lower worlds and raise the divine sparks back up to their source in the unified light of Adam. The paradox here is while the four worlds describe the process of creating, Adam exists in the realm above them. If the four worlds are the body of creation, Adam is the supernal will that precedes them. So in this realm, there is no separation. The light is so intense that the Sephiroth are not yet distinct vessels. They exist only as points of light. And Adam here refers to the structure of the Sephiroth, arranged like a human body, while Kadmon means primordial or age. According to Luria, Adam acts as the bridge between the infinite, the Ein Sof, and the finite worlds. Divine light radiates from the senses of Adam to form the lower worlds. Light from the ears creates the world of bound lights. Light from the nose creates the world of point lights. Light from the eyes, which is the most powerful light, eventually leads to the shattering of the vessels, the Shevarat HaKalim. Why man? Kabbalists use the human form as a metaphor because the human body is the most complex and balanced system in the physical world. There's a macrocosm and a microcosm. Just as a human has a head or an intellect, a heart or emotion, and limbs, which allow them to do things, act, the divine energy is organized in a human structure. And the reflection here is it teaches humans are built in the image of God because physical structure mirrors the spiritual structure of Adam. There are five levels of the soul. In the Kabbalah, the human soul is not a single entity, but a five-level ladder. And each part corresponds to one of the five spiritual worlds, mapping the human experience directly to the structure of the universe. So the five levels, the lowest level is vitality, provides the life force to the physical body, governs basic instincts. Then there's spirit, the seat of emotions. Moral character allows us to distinguish between right and wrong. There's breath, the intellectual spark. It connects the individual to divine wisdom and higher understanding. There's living, the bridge to the infinite. It's a level of pure consciousness that transcends individual identity, and this is probably the link to the Ein Sof right here. And the highest point is the essence of the soul that remains permanently unified with God. So here you have it. You're always linked to God. And so if we look at the soul as acting as a mirror for the hierarchy of the universe to reach a higher world, you must activate the corresponding level of your soul. So we look at the five levels of the soul, which are here, the cosmic worlds that are all here, and the domain which is here, and this covers everything. The you can see that the five domains are themselves quite different, quite distinct. So the key insight is because Adam contains all the worlds below him, the Yechidah level of your soul contains all the other levels. When you reach the highest state of meditation or prayer, you're essentially returning to the primordial man blueprint. And there you have it.